Hold on, bro, because I just can't. That is, it blows my mind because you can see kids getting blown the fuck up, bro, and you want 4 more years of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are seeing kids. How long have the war between Ukraine and Russia have been going on? They have
Since 2022.
fucking
Yeah, it was like March of
more
2022.
kids have died in less time
Yeah, in a
in
matter of
Gaza
months.
than in Ukraine.
Well, because in the Russia-Ukraine war, I mean, it was soldiers fighting soldiers, and this is
How is
just
this not a call to
Israel
genocide, bro?
Israel dropping bombs on apartment buildings and refugee camps. Right? Like you look at the footage that the IDF releases, or the footage that gets out, because it usually comes from the IDF Telegram channels. And if you honestly, I encourage people to go on those Telegram channels that are like pro IDF and just like see what they're celebrating. And if you can't read Hebrew, like I can't read Hebrew, like you can either get the paid version of Telegram that will translate it for you, or you can just take it over to Google Translate. But the stuff that they say, I mean, they'll
Dude, I
see
saw
like
one today was crazy, man.
they'll see children crying and call them all kinds of like terrorists and whores and all, like they call children these names, like children that are crying or missing limbs, and they're laughing about it. So if you want to understand who these people are, just go look at what they're saying in their native language, and it's like I don't know how you could support that.
And
Here
then
it is.
you're gonna
Here
support
it
this man
is.
with that badass Botox job. Like, come on, man.
Dude, if you guys want to see real evil, I seen exactly what you're talking about, Hugh.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want to see real evil, and that's actually a word, believe it or not, that I avoided a lot of my life, like the term evil. And I realized that I was naive in thinking that evil wasn't real. Like there's some things that you can't explain. Like I can't explain this other than evil.
Dog,
And I'm not
society. It's a sick society, dude. Like they, if you, I don't know if you guys have spoken to Daniel Mate, but if you haven't, I really encourage you to do so. Like he'll break it down for you. He says like, this society is based on essentially like trying to recapture the self-sufficiency and heroism that they felt that they lost during the Holocaust. So, and as a matter of fact, they'll talk down to victims of the Holocaust like they were weak or pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Like they treat them like garbage over there. And for them, it's like, well, nobody will ever be able to do this to us. So they ag themselves up. They gas themselves up so much that it's at the point now where they're looking at these horrible atrocities that are happening to Palestinians, and they're laughing about it.
And for the people who only listening, this is what I'm sure you was referencing. I'll read it for people who haven't seen it. This is a Telegram channel with over 100,000. I see one person in the comments, Zach. So I'm gonna trust Zach. He also says 125,000 people that view this channel. Where this post says, and this post got quite a few likes on it. It wasn't like the community like, oh, you gone too far, sir. No, this is the comment. Cry, you whore. And this is to that baby you guys see it on the screen. This is to a toddler with blood on her face. Cry, you whore. A whore, 1,000 whores. Cry as long as you can until we get to you too and eliminate you together with your ugly girl. Although there is no stinking terrorist blood here, but the sounds of sorrow emanating from the throats of the slut soothes the soul. Like, I can't even rationalize how people can be this way. You know what I mean? That's why I used evil. Like, evil is like, we can't explain it. Like, everything that they told you Hamas was is Israel times 1,000.
That's who they are. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I even say that?
Or you listen to you listen to some of the older IDF soldiers that participated in the Nakba, participated in the Sabra and Shatila massacre and other ethnic cleansing campaigns, and they're proud of what they did. They'll speak very gladly and cheerfully about the Palestinian women that they raped, about the men that they rounded up and shot, about the people they tortured. They seem to really love this stuff, and there's no social repercussions for it whatsoever. There's I don't know if you guys have seen probably like Itamar Ben Gvir getting interviewed quite a bit recently, and Itamar Ben Gvir has, like he had a poster of Baruch Goldstein on his wall. A guy himself who just went into a mosque and shot people. Like this is what they're like. They are absolutely atrocious and horrid people. And I don't know if you've seen like a lot of my Jewish friends on Twitter are like very, very, very anti-Zionist. You know, and one of them talks about like when he would go backpacking in South America, he would see um, like posters. He would see like cards on the front of hostels, and you know, in places like Peru, Colombia, etc., they'll say that they won't accept Israeli tourists. That if you have an Israeli passport, you're not welcome there because they're such assholes.
It's gonna get worse too because of the
Yeah.
ICJ and how the world turning against.
Oh no,
Israel.
no, no! This isn't because of October 7th. I mean, like this has been like this for years.
Yeah.
Like these hostels
sure,
would not
sure,
accept Israeli tourists because they just couldn't stand them.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say, hopefully, I don't get in trouble on YouTube for saying this. But if I met this person that wrote this, I would snap their neck.
It's green light. It's green light. I'm sorry.
I would snap their neck. I'm not Batman, fam.
Yeah.
I'm not Batman. You guys know how Batman has that no killing rule. This whoever wrote this is a threat to humanity.
I've been trying to think about what the fuck to say for the last minute now, bro.
Whoever wrote this need to be taken out. That's just that's how I view life. If I seen them, I view this person as a threat to my niece. I view them a threat to all my younger cousins. This person is a threat to humanity. You guys know I'm not a pacifist. Yeah. I'm not. I am not Batman. This person need to have their neck snapped. You know the real naked choke Q. I know Q know Muay Thai and shit.
I think all Israelis need to be.
I'm holding that shit on this guy.
I think all of them need to be pushed back to Israel since they love it so much. We have hundreds of thousands. They saying millions of them is getting ready to leave. Okay.
Well, it's a lot of crossover though, because I mean, you saw that Columbia campus.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that like they coming over here
on campus. Yeah, coming over
and assaulting us. Right.
Imagine
a foreign country coming over here and using chemical weapons on our citizens. Like I'm not the biggest patriot, but I give a fuck about a nigga, right? But you got people from a foreign country that's in a military, army, whatever the fuck they get, whatever the fuck their ranks were, and they're using chemical weapons against our people. And CNN saying nothing, MSNBC saying nothing, Fox News saying nothing. What the fuck is going on here?
Dog, look at it this way: foreign military operatives coming over to America to use violence and chemical weapons on Americans exercising their right to free speech. Does that not sound like a fucking John Milius movie? Does that not sound like some Red Dawn shit? You know what I mean? Like, during the Bush years, that would be free eats. You know, they'd be chasing these guys through the streets, and then because they happen to be from Israel and they're doing this against pro-Palestinian students, it just goes unmentioned. Like they're just allowed to do that.
Not only that, we have the little boy that has been stabbed. You know, the kids that have been shot because they are Palestinians, because they are of Muslim faith. We have the hate crimes are about to go up, and like I told people, and I said on Twitter, and everybody think, oh, you're trying to incite a race war. Like, no, you motherfuckers trying to incite a goddamn race war, not me. Yeah. If you're black, you're brown, I don't give a fuck where you come from. If you in America, get a damn gun and learn how to shoot, because it's gonna go down this summer. It's gonna be hot, and if I don't mean from no rays, no, it's gonna be hot. The fucking hate crimes are gonna go up. People are gonna be moving around more freely, and they're gonna be hurting and plotting. You think they're not plotting right now? You think they're not looking at those mosques? You think they're not looking at these people? Fuck yes. Get a gun, learn how to shoot, learn how to protect your people. If you don't want to shoot, well, you better learn how to fucking fight, and you better fight to the end. Because it's gonna be y'all, I'm telling you, you Americans have it so good. Y'all had it too good for too long, and you don't know what a fight looked like. You don't know what a war looks like. Like, we can watch bombs be dropped on another country, but can you take a bomb being dropped in your community?
Dude, I saw somebody say the other day to a pro-Palestinian that words drop harder than bombs. It was a black dude too, like one of those black pro-democrat people. I was like, nigga, do you know what you're talking about? Do you have any idea what a bomb does to a human being? Words, like it sounds nice to say coming out of your mouth, but dog, put you like in the Sudan somewhere, put you in the Central African Republic, put you in Gaza, and you try to come back and tell me words drop harder than bombs. No, bombs drop harder than bombs. The fuck out of here.
Yeah, well said. This is what I was mentioning earlier at this event. And by the way, actually, now thinking about it, we only got like 10 seconds into this. So let's play this one more time. And then I'm going to show you guys how this wasn't only a one-time thing.
Oh, no, they staggered it, yeah.
That's pretty sick. I actually don't know what he says after this. Nothing. I think the video filled. I actually didn't watch that much of that video. But this is someone who was there reporting. He got a big thread.
Yeah, and they kept doing that because they did a very smart thing, which was they didn't just have like one person get up and start shouting at Genocide Joe. They had it staggered, so that when that one person got rushed out, then they had some more people get up and shout, and he got interrupted like 18 times. Yeah, it was smart. Don't let him get more than 5 words out of his mouth. This convention is gonna be
fucking crazy. I'm thinking about going, man. Like, bro, like, kid, you got a place for me to stay? Because, like, bro, I'm thinking about. I think Chicago like 6 hours from KC. I got time to plan. I'm thinking about it, man. But we see because look at this. There's a thread. I don't have time to show them all, but you had. I'm gonna go to this part here. We had 13 independent disruptions. And then Nathaniel, he goes on to say, let me play. I'll play the last one because you got a series. All these people thrown out. Like, imagine how psychotic. You guys see them people screaming in the background, and we know they're paid. We know they're probably agents, but they still human. When people say they're DNC bots, they're like, oh, don't worry about their DNC plans. That's still a person.
That's still a human being.
To do that. They're cheering peace activists being kicked out, and and this is what
imagine what these people would have said during the Trump or the Bush years.
Yep. You had
you want to know what gets me though? They keep saying, do you think Trump is going to be better in Palestine? No. But are you going to give a fuck about Palestine when Trump is in office, or are you going to agree with Trump?
Here's the funny thing about that. When they say that, think that Trump's going to be better in Palestine, the funny thing is possibly marginally, right? Donald Trump, and I'm not saying that because I'm a pro-Trump person. I'm not saying that because I think that Donald Trump has a higher capacity for emotion. So Donald Trump operates on what is the best deal possible. If he sees that this is actually losing in PR, he'll put a stop to it, right? And he's already got sore feelings about the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu basically like horse fucked him in the last election, abandoned him, and he has that very deep sense of like personal animosity. So I know he's carrying that into this election year, that Netanyahu abandoned him, and now he's got no ties whatsoever. Unless it's a good deal for him, he's not going to be as supportive of the state of Israel as he was last time around.
Yeah. And Trump ain't got the stomach for too much war. He ain't no politician for real.
No, he's not a neocon. He's not a true believer. He doesn't really believe in any of this stuff. He believes in whatever's the best deal possible for him. Mm-hmm. But even if he's not, the whole point is you're supposed to be better than that. It's not a question of whether you think Donald Trump is supposed to be better or is going to be better on the Palestine issue. The problem is you are supposed to be better on that issue, and you're not. And if you're going to essentially not just stand by while a genocide is happening, but actively fund and actively arm the people who are committing genocide, then no, you shouldn't be in office. Sorry.
Yeah. And how is this even a consideration? How is it even close? It's not. But wait a second, we have maybe 20 minutes left. So I want to cover some fun news, some more lighthearted, uplifting news, because obviously
I know where you're going with this. I know exactly.
Let's have some fun to end the story.
That Fallout 3 ass critical hit shit. Yeah.
So I remember I used to play Call of Duty back in the day. I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty anymore. Like, I think the last Call of Duty I played was Modern Warfare, the original one. And if you don't play video games, like, this game was fun because they will give you different like bonuses based on how many kills you get. Yeah. Like if you get like a 3 kill streak, you get like a radar. 4 kills, you get like counter radar.
UAVs off of this. Yeah.
Yes. I see. You see where I'm going. I think if you get like 12 kills, you get an AC-130. You know what I mean?
15 kills, you get the nuke.
Yeah, 15. I got the nuke one time. Believe it or not, one time, bro. I was good. I was in college during Modern Warfare. This guy that I roomed with, he played cricket. This white boy was giant, bro. He was a corn-fed Nebraska dude, 6'5", 265 pounds. Like he was like one of the top recruits in cricket, and this motherfucker was cold and called like one of the top people in the nation. He used to go to the Call of Duty competitions. I used to play with them. He used to get the nuke all the time. It was wild. Anyway, the point is, this guy got the nuke. This guy he got 2 AC-130s. Whoever in Hamas that did this,
I need dog.
Their KD ratio.
I hope they got the footage. I hope they got the footage.
We can't play the footage. We do find it, but I definitely will watch it. I definitely watch it. I seen the footage of the IDF people being pinned down. So, and I greatly enjoyed that because remember we had the Palestinian Community Network on our show, and they taught me something important that I admit I didn't do enough. When they said if you support Palestinian resistance, you support their victories. And when she said, I was like, what? 100% right. Obviously, I wasn't condemning Hamas, but you celebrate the victories of resistance fighters. But Q, I think you want to chime in. Feel free, brother. Feel free.
No. I was going to say the same thing. Like a lot of people are still doing this weird thing where they say, well, I condemn Hamas. It's like, no, I hope they win. I hope every single battle they take part in, I hope they win. Yeah, I
commend Hamas. If I don't condemn, I commend them.
Sorry, I support Palestinian resistance and then whatever form it comes. And I absolutely don't have to condemn Hamas. I don't, and neither does anybody else. So when shit like this happens, bro, because the way that they reported it, they said that 21 IDF soldiers were killed, and I thought that is one hell of an engagement. Like you don't normally see that many people getting killed all in one firefight. And then when I saw the circumstances behind it, so these motherfuckers, these rat pieces of shit, they were planting demolition charges to destroy homes in a Palestinian neighborhood, which is what this is what their campaign is. Their campaign is to make Gaza unlivable, so that the people who are, if they ever come back, which the state of Israel does not intend for Gazans to come back, but if they do come back, they have no homes to come back to. So what they're doing is they're just demolishing all these people's homes. So 21 of these soldiers, they were planting demolition charges to destroy these homes, and some fucking some absolute fucking Chad in the Hamas resistance fired an RPG, hit one of the demolition charges, set off a chain reaction, just all of the demo charges went off and killed these guys. I was like, bro,
I bet he was even shocked. Like, damn, what the fuck?
That is some. I have deliberately tried both in Fallout 3 and Metal Gear Solid 3 to replicate a feat like this. It has never happened in video gaming. This motherfucker went and did it in real life with a single RPG.
Can you imagine being that guy? You got the best barbecue story of all time.
See, these people say that they hate Hamas because they putting people in danger and they kidnap people. Like no. You hate Hamas because they are the backbone of the people of Gaza, the people of the West Bank. You hate them because they can kick y'all ass. They actually have the balls and what it takes to fight back. Because if it wasn't them there, who would be taking up for them? Who would be fighting on the ground? Right? And you would just let them get slaughtered, and then you'll probably put up a fucking black box as your goddamn profile picture.
Bro, imagine him saying "Dap me up, bro" in Arabic after this happens. That'd be crazy.
So you have I'll just read this for people not in the know, because we in the know in the story, just for the sake of people watching to learn stuff. I'm gonna read just the Italian. By the way, it's 24 now. It's 20, not 21. It's updated. It's been updated 24. My receipts are a little bit old because I was preparing the show, but
send they ass on home to Jahannam. That's crazy.
And by the way, if you're clutching your pearls right now, remember how the United States reaction when Russian soldiers were being killed in Ukraine? So they celebrate the deaths of their enemies. Meanwhile, we're celebrating the deaths of little ethno-fascists that are engaging in genocide. Every single one of these scumbags that died, rest in peace. The world is a better place with every single one of these mugs gone.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. These niggas ugly as hell. Look at this.
Well, they don't look like much.
Look at the nigga in the class. The two niggas in the class.
So now, this story is extremely interesting to me because it's not like these people died a hero death as you laid out, Q.
Oh no, they died like cowards.
They died. Imagine you're a family of these people, Q, in Rome, and you're being told that your son died because he was planting bombs in order to demolition a home and he got killed by a rogue, or you died like a rat coward.
Damn.
No son of mine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, in a completely mythical reality that if you have a family member and they get killed this way, not defending your homeland, they're not fighting in the war of survival. They're trying to blow up buildings. But go ahead, Q. Go ahead.
No, I was saying if somebody told me that that's how my son passed away, I'd say, "What son? I don't know what you're talking about."
Like, sure, I don't know that.
I only have daughters. I don't know what you mean.
How can you be proud of something like that? Like this is why they do not know how to fight. They don't know how to fight. All they do is bomb.
Do you ever actually watch Israeli television?
No.
Bro, oh my god. Well, the thing is, because I have basically have access to all kinds of TV channels and whatnot. But yeah, every so often I will turn on Israeli news television, and these people are fucking sick. They don't. It doesn't compute to them that an act like that, like demolishing these homes, is evil. They'll say, well, of course they had to demolish the homes. Of course they had to make sure that there's nowhere for the terrorists to go back to, because this is how they're raised, is to believe that every Palestinian is a terrorist. And as a matter of fact, they always talk about, for example, the amount of Arab Israelis that there are, Arabic people with Israeli citizenship. But they'll talk about the Black Israelis, but they don't like them either. There have been Black Israelis that talk about why they're Zionists, and then some Zionists will turn around and say to them, "Well, you should go home too." These people are, bro. It's they do
the same shit to the Indians. The Indian people,
they're glazing these niggas all the time, and then they turn around and say, "Well, we don't want you here either." It's kind of nuts.
So what did I tell you guys at the very beginning of this damn conflict? I told you guys that the IDF is about to get their ass beat. I said at the very beginning, I told you guys that Israel and the United States do not win wars. They just kill people. They just slaughter civilians. And now we had the IDF diaper soldiers who are also the IDF blanket soldiers.
More specifically, Pampers.
Mommy.
My boy got a security blanket like Linus from Charlie Brown. That's crazy.
Oh my god!
Again, imagine that was your son. Oh my god!
The blanket soldiers.
That
was my son. Oh Jesus Christ! Man. If you guys don't know what we were watching, I can't play. I'm not playing the clip on YouTube for showing it. But IDF soldiers got caught on a raid. They getting fucked up. Israel is losing their war. There was a report by the U.S. State Department that said Israel is not meeting their goals and they are losing this conflict because they're not killing Hamas agents. According to the highly inflated Israel's numbers, they killed maybe a few thousand Hamas soldiers, less than 5% of their total fighting force, according to their fudge numbers. So now think about it. If you guys think they were successful in their military operation, so Israel displaced 2 million Palestinians, killed 25,000 Palestinians, probably way more under the rubble, only to get rid of a few thousand Hamas. You know how many more Hamas soldiers they created? What? So what I'm saying right now is essentially the U.S. summary. The U.S. State Department summary is Israel's losing this war because they're creating way more terrorists than they're killing. You had IDF people getting killed, Israel losing global support. And then you got like these were IDF soldiers hiding behind blankets.
You got 27-year-old majors, bro. This army, this military is laughable.
Part of the reason for that is because they will promote them in rank posthumously, 1 or 2 ranks. So if they weren't, they usually will announce their rank after they've been posthumously promoted. But regardless, it's 23, 24-year-old sergeant majors and majors, etc. But to me, it doesn't really matter. I think at this point, based on when this conflict first started, and we, the last time that I was on, compared to where we are now, the amount of support that's been peeled off of the Zionist cause it's never been like this in my entire lifetime. I don't know how old you guys are, but I was born in the 80s. And when
I'm playing.
Yeah. No, but the thing was, we only had news available to us. This cable news wasn't even around back then. CNN didn't come in until the late 80s. So you had CBS, NBC, and ABC. That was pretty much it. So whenever you saw coverage of these conflicts, you saw it from the pro-Zionist side pretty much all the time. You didn't really begin to see the Palestinian side of the conflict sort of creep over into American news until the age of the internet, and that really wasn't until, I would say, like the Second Intifada. You really didn't see uh, any kind of support whatsoever for Palestinians. So I would say this has really been a phenomenon since about like 1999. So in the past 25-ish years, I don't think I've seen a country go from being universally defended globally, or at least on the West, to at this point now becoming reviled. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Bro, can't wait till next
Even
World
the
Cup.
United States has never really had that great of a PR campaign. Israel had the most solid, I think, PR campaign out of any country in the entire world, and they've pretty much squandered it on this campaign.
I think this is a way of the world. The world coming together against Israel is them giving us a hint that America is really losing power. Is really losing their grip that they had on the world, and they are not afraid to go after their so-called allies, and they're going to knock them down one by one. And
if you pay attention to what's happening in BRIC countries right now, with the with the amount of consolidation that's been happening, and I would say, like, if listen, this may be going a little bit far for you guys, but I would actually, if I were you, maybe try to get somebody like Shahid Bolson on the stream and have a chat with him about what he thinks, because I mean, you know, for as controversial as he can be, his geopolitical commentary is absolutely on point. And he's been talking for the past several weeks about the fact that the world economy is now coalescing behind BRICS countries, because the truth of the matter is, who has the resources? And that's what's going to make the difference over the next 50 or so years, who actually has the resources. And you have, on the one hand, the EU, the UK, the United States, and like Western countries, NATO, Canada, etc., they are attempting to seize control of resources through violent means, through political instability, overthrowing democratically elected governments, etc., by installing essentially Western-backed puppet regimes. And then you have, say, Russia, China, etc., that are not only like offering low interest or even interest-free loans, but infrastructural planning, development support, job training, etc., for countries like Nigeria, Ethiopia, Ghana, etc. So on the one hand, you have your Western regimes, which are basically to say, hey, if you want any help, then you have to privatize all of your industries. You have to give over your natural resources to our companies that are going to extract at the lowest price possible and have no safety precautions and no financial guarantees for your workers. And then there's, you know, these other countries, China, Russia, to some extent India. I think India is actually kind of wavering now, but you have now you have a group of countries that are being helped by essentially what is now pretty much a first world power that has no interest in whatever their internal politics are, has no interest in creating any kind of puppet regimes, has no interest in indebting these countries, because many of the countries that did take loans from China had their debts forgiven or restructured during the COVID years. So you have a good faith partner on the one hand and a completely bad faith partner on the other hand, and a lot of countries are going for the good faith partner option. So over the next 50 years, you're going to see a massive realignment. I think a lot of Americans, especially, that are talking about how much they're losing hope. They're watching the course of this war and they're just losing hope, and they feel like they can't bring children into a world like this. I say that's what American news, that's what Western news is designed to do to you, to make you lose hope. But if you actually pay attention to what's happening in the rest of the world, it's actually an incredibly optimistic situation. There has never been a time when any country would ever stand up to Israel the way that South Africa is doing right now, and it's gaining support in African countries. Look at Namibia stepping in. As soon as Germany thought that they had something to say about South Africa's charges of genocide at the ICJ, and Germany stepped in and says, "Well, we're not,
you don't want to go there."
Namibia stepped in immediately and said, "Well, who the fuck are you? Who do you think you are to try to tell anybody else what a genocide is or is not? You just admitted to us. You just apologized to us for the genocide that you committed against the Herero people." And I'm not sure if you've paid any attention to this, but Germany, after essentially just penning an empty apology to even to the Herero people, but to Namibia, which was a very specific people that they committed genocide against. That is the people that resisted the German occupation of Namibia. Germany penned an empty apology to them and basically says, well, here's what we're going to do to offer restitution to the Herero people. Nothing. Fuck you. You got your apology. Piss off. Right. And the Namibians are pissed right now. So if you look at, for example, Chad is probably going to be the next country that has a major coup attempt, because it's essentially the last bulwark between uh, the rebellions and military coups that have been happening against France in Central and West Africa, and what's been happening in East Africa. Chad is basically like that last holdout, and the people in Chad are incredibly angry at their current government, which is basically a French-backed regime. It's a dynastic regime, and the military is dissatisfied with the current arrangement. The people are engaging in massive protests. The last protest, I forget when it was last. It was like late summer of last year. I forget what month it happened exactly, but there was a military crackdown on protests, and it was over 117 people killed. People are very angry about it. It's probably going to be the next African state that has either a people's coup or a military coup. So the massive realignment that's taking place right now in Africa, I think, should be capturing everybody's attention. And many of these countries have a significant Muslim population. Many of these countries are, just about all of these countries are Black people, they're people of color, etc. And they've basically said that they're fed up. They've absolutely had it. They're going to realign themselves into a new economic bloc. I don't believe that, it's going to cause America to fall, but it is going to have to, Americans and the EU and the UK are going to have to drastically rethink what their priorities are and what their approach is to these countries in the global south, because they're stronger together than they are apart. And right now they're all banding together.
Oh yeah, and they're not going to be able to stop BRICS. That's set in stone, and I believe they're going to be our new leaders.
I put an asterisk on BRICS. I call it like BRCS, because Brazil is sort of back into the coalition now that Lula has been elected president. He's learned from a lot of his mistakes, especially the huge mistake that he made, which was sending Brazilian troops into Haiti, because the very same troops that were essentially trained death squads, the anti-Desalinas in Haiti, ended up coming right back to Brazil and taking him out of power. So I think he's learned his lesson about going against other countries in the global south. India is, I'm not sure if you've heard that, they just celebrated the opening of a temple over the ruins of a mosque that was obliterated. So India has now essentially become like a Hindu fascist country, and they're very, very much Western aligned right now. So I would almost like take them out of the mix. So when I say BRICS, I mean BRCS: Brazil, Russia, China, and you probably just want to say like S for Global South, because Singapore is not really part of that coalition either.
Yeah. I'm a revolutionary.
I just love that we're showing these motherfuckers that they outnumbered. That's the main thing. All these protests, hundreds of thousands of people throughout the world, all over the world. I love that these Zionists, because if you was to go online and you was just like, say, if you was new on Twitter, you would think that these people had all the support in the world. You would think every country supports Zionism, but it is further from the truth. And I love that people are showing support in person and showing these people that you are outnumbered and we would not tolerate.